Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. I'm Kirsten Plambeck, and I'm just so grateful to be with you this morning. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone all the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. Look around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Ooh, oh yeah. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day.
Thank you so much, Kirsten. Good morning, and welcome to the Creative Living Fellowship online Sunday service. My name is Deborah Covington, and I will be serving as the Sunday service host today. Whether you're joining us on Zoom or our website, Facebook, or YouTube, it's my pleasure to welcome you here. As usual, we ask you to please make sure to leave a comment and let us know that you are here. Creative Living Fellowship is a religious science church, and we honor all paths that lead to truth. Our deep intention here is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and practices of the science of mind and spirit. The science of mind is a new thought, ancient wisdom teaching that provides us with tools for living our best possible lives. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said, "Prepare your mind to receive the best that life has to offer." Today, we welcome back Kirsten Plambeck as our musical inspiration, and it is always a pleasure to have her here. Practitioner Elena Larner is holding high watch for us today. This means that she is sitting in meditation and prayerful contemplation, holding a space for the perfect unfoldment of this service. Practitioner Emeritus Reverend Mary Jane Hyde, who facilitated our pre-service meditation, is serving as practitioner of the day. She'll be bringing us the opening prayer. We will then have the centering moment, which is a time for centering and reflection. I invite you to participate in this centering moment by turning within and sensing into the words and music, even singing along if you wish. After the centering moment, Reverend Mary Jane will be back with the inspirational reading for today. Right now, here's Reverend Mary Jane with our opening prayer.
Good morning, Creative Living Fellowship. And so, if we just get quiet, we're going to get in a place for prayer, and we're just going to be centered in the knowing and the feeling of the presence of the divine, the peaceful energy of the divine, the loving, caring energy of the divine, the infinite knowledge and wisdom of spirit, the peace and understanding of God. These are the qualities that we call forth as we begin this service here at Creative Living Fellowship. We call forth the love and the peace and the harmony and the joy. And there's always infinite wisdom, and there is always infinite flow. And so that's what is called forth here today as we go about this service, as the divine speaks through and works through each person who's involved in this service and each person who is participating by listening or watching this service. The divine presence is expressing in, through, and as, and that divine presence is expressing in, through, and as Creative Living Fellowship for the people who are serving here today. I'm grateful for that. I know that all is in divine order for this service, whatever that is. It is as the divine is speaking through us, so it cannot be in anything other than perfection. And so I know that as we go about this progress, as we go about the service today, that we are spiritually fed through the words of Reverend Jerry Troyer, as we listen to the music, as we just participate in this spiritual experience. We are fed and nurtured through this service and as this service, and we can take that with us as we go about our business today and through the week. And so I am grateful for this. I say thank you. Thank you for how the service unfolds in the highest and best way possible. And as I in this gratitude, I release these words. I know that it's already done in the one mind, so I just let go. And I know. And together we say, and so it is.
The world is a place of great love for all. The world is a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. The world is a place of great peace. I am a place of great love for all. I am a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, I am a place of great peace. You are a place of great love for all. You are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, you are a place of great peace. We are a place of great love for all. We are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, we are a place of great peace. The world is a place of great peace.
And so the reading for today is from writing by Jack and Cornelia Addington, and it is a quote from Irvin Seal, how to love and be loved, drawing the larger circle. To bless a thing is to fill it with life. Life is expansion, and the thing will expand and progress. To bless it is to enfold it in warmly in your thought and feeling, and consciously desire the fullest and most beautiful expression. To bless it is to send forth a power which is of God and therefore omnipotent. To bless it is to take an inward stance in relation to something. It is to speak the word of good and then to stand silently while the currents of life flow through the patterns of your thought. To bless is to release the hidden life in everything. Thank you.
I believe in a blessing I don't understand. I've seen rain fall on the wicked and the just. Rain is no measure of his faithfulness. He withholds no good thing from us. No good thing from us. No good thing from us. I believe in a peace that flows deeper than pain, that broken find healing in love. Pain is no measure of his faithfulness. He withholds no good thing from us. No good thing from us. No good thing from us. I will open my hands, will open my heart. I will open my hands, will open my heart. I am nodding my head, an emphatic yes to all that you have for me. I believe in a fountain that will never dry, though I thirsted and didn't have enough. Thirst is no measure of his faithfulness. He withholds no good thing from us. No good thing from us. No good thing from us. I will open my hands, will open my heart. I will open my hands, will open my heart. I am nodding my head, an emphatic yes to all that you have for me. No good thing from us, no good thing from us, no good thing, no good thing from us. I will open my hands, will open my heart. I will open my hands, will open my heart. I am nodding my head, an emphatic yes to all that you have for me.
Thank you again, Kirsten. What a beautiful song. Reverend Dr. Sherry has the day off. We are, however, in very good hands with our favorite friend, Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer, who will serve as our guest speaker today. Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer serves as board president of the affiliated New Thought Network, of which CLF is a member. He previously served as a staff minister at the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living in San Diego. However, he now travels and serves as a guest speaker at several churches in several states. He also works as director of relationship development for Urban Street Angels. He is the author of acclaimed book, Coming Out to Ourselves, Admitting, Accepting, and Embracing Who We Truly Are. Please join me in welcoming back Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer.
Deb, thank you so much. And good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening if you're watching and listening later. It is a great pleasure to be back with you, and my thanks to Reverend Dr. Sherry for the opportunity. As you may remember, Reverend Dr. Sherry's topic for the month of June is the blessing in blessing. And I have to admit that coming from a long background, not my entire life, but a good number of years in New Thought, we don't always think about blessing and the concept of blessing. Many years ago, my center was looking for another religious organization to share our space. And so the very first interview I had with another minister, he came in and we talked and did the tour and everything. And as he was leaving, he said, "God bless you." And I looked around thinking, well, I didn't sneeze. In New Thought, we don't say that so much, but consider your perception of the word of bless, and blessing, and to be blessed. Reverend Mary Jane read this wonderful quote that I love from the book How to Love and Be Loved by Jack and Cornelia Addington. And just as review, I would like to share it again, and then we'll talk much more about it. So to bless a thing is to fill it with life. Life is expansion, and the thing will expand and progress. To bless it is to enfold it warmly in your thought and feeling and consciously desire its fullest and most beautiful expression. To bless it is to send forth a power which is of God and therefore omnipotent. To bless is to take an inward stance in relation to something. It is to speak the word of good and then to stand silently while the currents of life flow through the patterns of your thought. To bless is to release the hidden life in everything. So tonight, as you get into the bed and you think about how the day went, you're going to remember the blessings. And blessings oftentimes, as we know, are obvious. So the manifestation of what we said we wanted, having lunch with a dear friend, the answered prayer, green lights, unexpected income, all of those are reminders of the truth of our being, and they are obvious blessings. Please don't tell anybody, but I have a thing about control. I love to travel. I love to go places, right? I love to travel. I love to go places. I love to go places I've never been, but I love it when I have my rental car keys in my pocket, my directions on my phone. And back in the day, and many of you aren't old enough to remember this, but back in the day, we used MapQuest and printed out the directions and had them with us because you just didn't know for sure. And so you needed to know where you're going. Thankfully, in 2024, there's Google Maps and other apps on our phones. And so we don't have to worry about that so much and taking that wad of paper with us. Earlier this month, because we're one last day of June, but earlier this month, I had the opportunity to travel to Berlin, Germany. It was the most amazing experience. It was to visit my my college roommate, who is also my son's godfather, had not seen him or his partner in easily 15 years. And so we'd stayed in contact, obviously, and he reached out to me and said, well, you should come. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have to do that sometime. And sometime, and finally said, today is the day. Let's go ahead and book this trip and do it. I was so excited and admittedly a little apprehensive because I went by myself. I'm going to a country where I don't speak the language. I probably maybe 4 words of German, and that's pretty much it. Not sure. So my ego, and remember Wayne Dyer says ego stands for edging God out. My ego started giving me thoughts of what if. So you're going to a foreign country, but your flight is delayed out of San Diego because I flew San Diego, Munich, Berlin. What if you miss your flight to Munich? I didn't. There's a big line because of course, when you arrive in a foreign country, you have to give your passport. There was a long line in the passport line. What if I miss my connecting flight? I didn't. What if I can't find my friend Mark when I land in Berlin? I could. So to make a long story even longer, it was an amazing, extraordinary, glorious trip. I stayed in this office building / residential building in downtown Berlin. I was reminded of the ridiculous blessings in my life when I realized that at the other end of the building was the ATM machine so I could get my euros. And across the street from the ATM machine was Starbucks. Life is good. So I'm there and doing my thing, and we had dinner and everything's wonderful. And I came out the next morning. Just one moment here. There we are. I came out the next morning, had not noticed this before, but so there are 2 buildings side by side with about 100 feet in between them, and stretched across the courtyard area on cables are these umbrellas. It was so cool. It was so cool. And the still small voice said, you got here business class. By the way, he upgraded me to business class on Lufthansa. We're talking religious experience, but that's a separate Sunday talk. The still small voice said, so you got here, you had a nice dinner. The next morning, come out into the plaza and look at this. Look at these umbrellas. And I was reminded of the words from Emma Curtis Hopkins. You must not put up umbrellas against things which do not exist. Umbrellas are burdens in pleasant weather. Whoa. So I put my umbrella away, my mystical umbrella away, and went out and had an amazing time the rest of the week. What an awesome, awesome blessing. There are also those experiences in our lives that show up that don't look like so much of a blessing. Things like changes in our employment situation that we didn't consciously choose. Changes in a relationship that we didn't consciously choose. I'm often reminded of Mary Morrissey's talking about relationships and the fact that they don't end, because where is the relationship? It's in our minds. So the relationship doesn't end, but the dynamics of it change. Or people in our lives who irritate us just by their mere existence. Now, you probably don't have anybody in your life like that, but some of the rest of us do. Don't need to admit it. But what if we allowed ourselves to consider that in all of these situations and every moment of every day, remembering the words from A Course in Miracles, everyone and everything I see will lean toward me to bless me. We human beings don't like change. Change in our work situation. And I don't know about you, but I've had situations where I needed to change. I wanted to change. I changed. I went to a new job. I went to a new position. And even though it's what I consciously chose, admittedly, there was some grief and some feeling of loss because I loved the previous job so much. Change in a relationship where, and even if it's been fun, it's had a shelf life, it's reached the end of its shelf life, I need to get out of this and go on to something else. And so even if it appears as positive, there can be the opportunity to grieve that change. But we human beings don't like change. And so I've been doing some work on that and wondering why. And again, not only when there is obviously death or a loss or a change, like a negative change that doesn't look like a blessing, but why do we not like change? And what I found, one of the reasons is there's something in our brain called the amygdala. And I might be pronouncing that wrong, but stick with me on this. This in our brain controls our fight or flight response. And so when there is a change, and especially one that we're not expecting, we get this triggered in our brains that something bad has happened. And we have the emotional reaction, the physical reaction, and even though it may be a blessing down the road, it's not what it looks like, and so we have that response. But Louise Hay once said, I am safe. It's only change. I am safe. It's only change. What we know is change doesn't always show up, and especially what we judge as positive change doesn't always show up with pomp and circumstance, yelling and screaming and jumping up and down, saying, oh boy, here we go. It's a new chapter. It's a new possibility. How often do we go through what we go through and then months or years or decades allow ourselves to look back and say, boy, those were strange days. And yet, it was the best thing that could have happened. How often do we do that? Do we allow ourselves to look back and begin to look at that and to heal that and say, it wasn't what I wanted at the time. It wasn't what I would have consciously chosen. And yet, everyone and everything leans toward me to bless me. So is there another way to look at this experience, this person, this situation, and find the blessing, to remove the disguise and to see that, first of all, we are always loved, always divinely guided, always protected, but also, is there another way to look at this blessing in disguise? I have to share this quote from the Golden Girls. Why do blessings wear disguises? If I were a blessing, I'd run around naked. From Sophia, who of course was the senior member of the cast on the Golden Girls. I'm a huge Golden Girls fan. I'd have to turn in my gay card if I wasn't. So, you know, some things are just required. It's not always obvious. It's not always obvious to us that that is a blessing. Sometimes it looks more like a curse. But how do we move forward in recognizing that and offering gratitude for that. What gift is this bringing me? That person who the mere thought of them, the mere fact of them, even if they, before they open their mouths, even before they walk in the room, we have the thought about them and our heart starts beating and we just, where is the gift in that? Well, remember our shadow. One of my favorite authors, Debbie Ford, and before her, Carl Jung, wrote a lot about the shadow and those personality traits and those experiences that we see someone else doing or being, and we just get so upset. And very often it's that part of our personality that they're showing, they have no problem sharing, but we can't share. And so it's our shadow that says, well, I want to do that. I want to talk that way. I want to have that, but we can't because it's our shadow. We just can't. So what if everyone and everything leans toward us to bless us? There's always the opportunity to ask the question. So I want to unpack that quote again. So in working toward removing the disguise, in working toward finding the blessing, what if we allowed this change, this next chapter of our lives, in order for us to expand and progress? When life is good, it's really good, and we want it to be just exactly as it is, and we want people to behave themselves and be with us for a really long time, and we want our job that we love to stay as the job that we love. But in the last 20 years, and it's been longer than that for me, admittedly, but think about the industries and the jobs and the work that we did 10 even or 20 or 30 years ago that don't exist anymore. And we call it progress, but yet there was some loss when that work went away. Can we recognize that however it played out was a blessing for us, knowing that the universe always loves us and nurtures us, and if that opportunity isn't there anymore, there is something else for us. There was always something more. There was always a blessing for us. What if we allowed this change, this blessing, what if we allowed the currents of life to flow through the patterns of our thought about this, whatever this is? Now, as I was writing this, it occurred to me in a blinding flash, two words appear in the same statements, and that is allowing. That's one of my, I don't like the word challenge. That's one of my opportunities, is to see a situation that I'm not happy with and allow. Course in Miracles also says, I can see peace instead of this. Again, I can see the blessing, the joy, the possibilities instead of this anger and resentment and regret and frustration. I can see peace. I can see the blessing instead of that, instead of this. What if we allowed this change? What if we allowed the universe to do what it does? So to close my story on Berlin, everything was wonderful. Everything was amazing. I was 2 days on my own, and my friend Mark says, well, you know, because if you've ever been to Europe, you know, it's kind of like going from state to state in the United States, and the countries are so small. He's like, well, you're 4 hours from Prague, Czechoslovakia. Oh my goodness, I've always wanted to go there. You're 6 hours from Dusseldorf. You're 4 hours from here and 6 hours from there. And I'm like, well, isn't that nice? But I'm just not ready to go traveling on the train by myself to yet another foreign country. And that was okay. You know, life that loves us and supports us meets us exactly where we are. And so if this is not for us to do this time, that's okay. It was an amazing trip. But what if we allow all of this? What if we allow life? I love this amazing quote. And Mizuta Masahide, I didn't do that well, but bear with me here, was a 17th century Japanese poet and samurai. And he's quoted as saying, "Barns burned down, now I can see the moon." So often we have experiences that we judge as wrong and bad and awful and not what we wanted. And yet, can we allow ourselves to see the blessing? What if we allowed ourselves to say, I don't know? If you've ever had a situation where there was a change in a relationship, and especially if someone made their transition, a change in a job, a change in some sort of personal situation, we don't know what's next. And again, those of us with control issues want to know. I want to know. I want the whole book there. I want the ending there. I want to know what's next. And life says, instead of requiring that control, what if we allowed that situation, whatever it was, to unfold as it should, so that we can be fully present in and see the blessings, and then look back and say, those were the craziest days, and yet I was always loved. I was always divinely guided. I was always safe because it was always change. But we won't find the blessing unless we allow ourselves to. Again, our judgment, our resentment, our regret can keep us from experiencing the blessing. So rather than meeting people, places, situations with preconceived conclusions and that anger and that judgment, what if we could meet them in the mystery? I absolutely know that somehow, some way, and you may be in a disguise, but you have come into my life to offer me a blessing. I absolutely know that. And allow Spirit to do what Spirit does and remind us of our truth, because it's all about the allowing. I'd like to close with a Zen fable. And the title of this is Good News, Bad News. One day in late summer, a farmer was working in his field with his old sick horse. The farmer felt compassion for the horse and desired to lift its burdens. So he let his horse loose to go to the mountains and live out the rest of its life. Soon after, neighbors from the nearby village visited, offering their condolences, and said, "What a shame! Now your only horse is gone. How unfortunate you are. You must be very sad. How will you live, work the land, and prosper?" The farmer replied, "Who could say? We will see." 2 days later, the old horse came back rejuvenated after meandering in the mountainside while eating the wild grasses. Returning with him were 12 new and healthy horses, which followed the old horse into the corral. Word got out in the village of the farmer's good fortune, and it wasn't long before people stopped by to congratulate him on his good luck. "How fortunate you are!" they exclaimed. "You must be very happy." The farmer softly said, "Who could say? We will see." At daybreak on the next morning, the farmer's only son set off to attempt to train the new wild horses, but the farmer's son was thrown to the ground and broke his leg. One by one, the villagers arrived to bemoan the farmer's latest misfortune. "Oh, what a tragedy you've had. Your son won't be able to help you farm with a broken leg. You'll have to do all the work yourself. How will you survive? You must be very sad." Calmly going about his usual business, the farmer answered, "Who could say? We will see." Several days later, a war broke out. The emperor's men arrived in the village, demanding that young men come with them to be conscripted into the emperor's army. As it happened, the farmer's son was deemed unfit because of his broken leg. "What very good fortune you have," the villagers exclaimed as their own young sons were marched away. "You must be very happy." "Who could say? We shall see," replied the farmer as he headed off to work his field alone. As time went on, the broken leg healed, but the son was left with a slight limp. Again, the neighbors came to pay their condolences. "Oh, what bad luck you have. Too bad for you." But the farmer replied simply, "Who's to say? We shall see." As it turned out, the other young village boys died in the war, and the farmer and his son were the only able-bodied men capable of working in the village lands. The farmer became wealthy and was very generous to the villagers. They said, "Oh, how fortunate we are. You must be very happy." To which the farmer softly, calmly said, "Who could say? We will see." The point is, this thing called life arrives, and it arrives sometimes naked as a blessing, sometimes disguised. But the opportunity for us is to always be still, and sometimes we need to ask, where is the blessing in this? Where is the opportunity to bring love into this situation? We always, always have that. As we celebrate Independence Day, and I hope you have a wonderful time on Thursday, whatever you choose to do, staying cool if you choose to, we always are free to have a new thought, to look at whatever this situation is and decide, where is the blessing in this for me? So with that in mind, join me in the light for just a moment. So staying in this consciousness of oneness, we give great thanks for this glorious day, for this beloved spiritual community and the opportunity to be back together, and for the blessing of the internet and Zoom and Facebook and all the other services that allow us to do what we do. We give thanks for the opportunity to be reminded of the truth of our being, that in every moment of every day, we are always loved, always nurtured, always divinely guided. And this day, we choose to be aware of the blessings, the ones that are obvious and the ones that are not, knowing that in every moment of every day, everyone and everything leans toward us to bless us. So for this day, for this beloved community, for the opportunity to be together, we give great thanks. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Terry, for those inspired words. It's a pleasure to have you back with us again. This is our conscious giving time, the time that we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and offerings. We invite you to join in this sacred practice by tithing here at CLF. CLF is a tithing church, so as you give to CLF, we tithe 10% of our income to local nonprofit organizations that are serving our communities and making a real difference in the lives of real people. Our 2024 second quarter tithe recipient is 1 in 10 POND program. POND, which stands for Promise of a New Day, is a housing program that provides housing navigation services for 18 to 24-year-old LGBTQ plus and allied folks who are at risk of or are currently experiencing homelessness. We are pleased to be able to support this 1 in 10 program. For giving online, please click the donate link on our website or in the comments on our Facebook page, or you may use your cell phone to text to give. The text to give phone number is on the screen, and that number is 844-941-4360. Now let us repeat our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God. And so it is. Here again is Kirsten Plambeck with our offering music.
Like I had in mind, had some highs with the ground, some ups that went down, but one thing that I figured out, joy comes, tears fall, I'm learning there is beauty in it all, it's not hard to find it, you just have to look, oh, God is good. Said hellos and goodbyes, and I've held mine. Friends while they've cried, tasted bitter and sweet, those moments between, and God's had his hand in everything. Joy comes, tears fall, I'm learning there is beauty in it all, it's not hard to find it, just have to look, oh, God is good. We're all young and we're old, kids have kids of their own, and the days just keep moving, moving. If there's one thing that I know, true wherever I go, go with me forever through it all. Joy comes, tears fall, I'm learning there is beauty in it all, it's not hard to find it, you just have to look, oh, God is good. Joy comes, tears fall, I'm learning there is beauty in it all, it's not hard to find it, you just have to look, oh, God is good, God is good.
Oh, thank you, Kirsten. That was awesome. And thank you, Reverend Jerry. What a wonderful talk. It's so great to have you with us today. And the last time you were here, I had the day off. So it really, really was awesome to have you here and to be able to be with you. Well, my name's Nicole, and it is time for announcements. A reminder that we offer midday meditations Monday through Friday at noon on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. We also hold a 20-minute pre-service meditation on Sunday at 9:35 a.m. in Zoom and on our live streams. Well, our office is closed this Thursday in observance of 4th of July, so we wish you a safe and happy Independence Day, and we know that we will enjoy our day off. I'm sorry, I lost my place. The New Thought Book Study is also observing the holiday weekend by skipping this coming Saturday, July 6th. But what better way to celebrate your freedom than to read the ancient Aramaic Prayer of Jesus by Rocco A. Errico, and then join in the book study in Zoom on Saturday, July 13th from 10 a.m. to noon. I always like to study on my holidays. The third quarter starts this week, and we are looking for an organization to send our tithe to. If you have a local nonprofit organization you would like to recommend, did I say that right? Recommend, please fill out our online form and submit it to our Board of Trustees. You can find the link on our website or in your weekly newsletter. Our Sunday prayer room is available to you after service today. Our practitioners are available for one-on-one prayer with you in a Zoom private breakout room. You can also send a written prayer request to prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com. Please make sure you put prayer request in the subject line. Upon receipt, our practitioners will pray over your request for 30 days. Remember, you don't need to walk around with a heavy heart. You can join us in Zoom on Sundays. Just be sure to identify yourself with your first and last name. Also, we lock the Zoom room at 10:10 a.m., so don't be late. You can find all of our information for events and about us online on our website or in our weekly newsletter. That is it for announcements, and now it is back to you, Deborah.
Thank you, Nicole. And thank you to everyone who's joined us today. Welcome back, Reverend Jerry. You may find the following items on our website: the treatment for supply in your Science of Mind on page 262, a prayer for our country by Ernest Holmes. Please continue to connect with each other. And now our closing song, Blessed Always, with Ricky Byers.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say, that we rest in God and say